Go ahead.
Members, my name is Jeremy Newman, Policy Director with the Texas Homeschool Coalition. I've testified before you guys a number of times before, but to kind of summarize for you guys, we are involved in a number of CPS situations through our membership because one of the services we provide is representation in CPS cases. Two of the attorneys that we work with, one in the Woodlands, who I think may actually be in Representative Keogh's district, one in Houston, deal with these types of situations frequently. And I want to make sure to explain the practical implications of at least what we deal with, which is that a lot of times these orders to participate are used as a substitute for removal. Right. So in other words, the CPS comes into the home, they don't have the evidence to remove, and because they do not have the evidence to remove, they instead go to court and ask for court-ordered services. And I can actually give you guys a motion that we just won on a case of like this 2 weeks ago, I think, where we believe that the current statute actually prohibits that interpretation because we think that the current statute would require the court to only do this after a suit has been filed against the family. If you do a detailed reading of it, I'll provide anyone with a copy of that they want. So we really see Representative Keogh's bill as almost enforcing to a large degree what the statute is already supposed to be requiring. And I'll just make a couple explanations for you guys of the way this works practically, that if there is not a suit filed against the parent yet, but you're being required to participate in services, you don't have the same due process protections, you don't have the same notice protections that you would if there was a normal case going on. And the comment was mentioned earlier that this would require a trial. I think that may be a comment about the original version of the bill. The committee substitute in my reading does not say that. It just says that the court has to find by clear and convincing evidence that abuse or neglect has occurred or is likely to occur.
That's right.
And the finding requirements, I guess the point I would make here is that what we're talking about is burdening the parent and the family and the child. I don't think we can presume here that just because our intention is to benefit the child, that if we haven't found that there's actually anything wrong with the family, that we are benefiting the child. So we have to realize that the reason for these protections in the first place is to protect the parent, the family, and the child. In fact, the U.S. Supreme Court Troxel decision was mentioned earlier. One of the things that Justice Kennedy said in that decision is that just the existence of the litigation is a burden on the parent and the child. And so I don't think it's fair for us to presume that removing these requirements and allowing the government more easily into the home is the best thing for the child or the family.
Thank you, Ms. Frank.
So your question is who protects the kid from us?
Basically.
Members, any questions? Anybody? Thank you very much. Chair would recognize Representative Keogh to close on this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, since being on Human Services, in my first session, I've had the opportunity to be involved in a lot of different things, but specifically the issue of CPS, the redesign. I worked over the last 2-year period with Judge Specia. Judge, it's good to see you today. I've worked specifically and closely with Hank Whitman, our current commissioner. I worked with Traylor, with Janik. I took 70 hours of mediation courses from University of Texas and in the Conflict Resolution Center in Conroe. I've been involved with the 250-page suit against the state of Texas concerning the issues associated with the redesign. I have spent the time with our work group. I was interested in Representative Wu's statement as well. He didn't affirm that it would increase it. He was asking the question if it would increase the amount of cases. I have to tell you, and I have seen various situations. I have spent time in the field. I have gone out with investigators. I have gone to places that you can't imagine. I have gone with those involved in permanency. I've been involved in those with regular caseworkers. I've been with them. I've been with the people. There are some people where it's very difficult and deserve what is taking place. There are those others, you scratch your head and go, how in the world could this happen? I do not believe, Mr. Chairman and members, that rights of parents and best interests of the children are mutually exclusive. I believe that parental rights and what is benefit for the children are two elements that work hand in hand. And when we give a governing body the opportunity to arbitrarily, based upon someone accusing someone of something, and automatically require that they take courses without some type of clear evidence as to why they should, I think that that's in violation of our basic constitutional rights of due process. I mean, it's as basic as it gets. I think that parental rights are equally as important as children's rights. The children wouldn't be here without the parents. We realize that parents, in and of themselves, they make huge blunders, huge mistakes, and it breaks our hearts. I have seen this. I have worked on the redesign. I've worked with all these people here on this, and have cried with these kids, and have been and watched the adoption process and how that it takes place. This idea that if we do this, it's going to increase the intake. I think it will do just exactly the opposite. Makes everybody stop for a moment and think about what needs to be done before we require people to take courses. Let's find out what exactly has happened, rather than an arbitrary statement and a judge making a decision. And I thank God for the work that you, please don't misunderstand, judges. I love you guys. And I'm working with judges in Conroe right now on some various things, and you've put so much time and so much effort and so much work into what you do. And I know that you have a love for the children. I'm just asking that there is an element here that we have missed, and that and with passion I'm asking, as you can tell, that the parents are not the forgotten element in this. I've sat in these mediations and I've seen parents that they should be put in jail. At the same time, I've seen parents where you're sitting there and you're scratching your head, why are we even here? So I would encourage you to rethink this. Those who are against it, I do believe that it's worthy of passage. I believe it's something that needs to be done. I ask the committee, Mr. Chairman, to pass it, to look favorably upon this bill, and to refer it to calendars. And with that, I close.